Hey, what's up Sigmas? Welcome back to the channel. Today, unfortunately it's raining out, so that means there's going to be no riding today, but you know what? I wanted to help you guys out in your transition from being beta males into strong Sigma males by relaying some of the extensive knowledge I've learned over the 24 hours of being a Sigma owner. Bro, what is this? Sorry guys, sorry about that. There's a couple things I've learned that'll help you out, such as enabling race mode, how the keys operate, and then finally, I'm gonna be swapping out the tires today. I'm gonna explain to you exactly why we're gonna do that. But you know what guys, without further ado, what do you say we get right into it? Come on, let's go. Okay, for starters guys, I wanna show you how to put in and out the battery. So underneath here, you're gonna see there is the lock. And it's got this neat little hatch door that's got a little push release on it. So get used to using this. Sorry guys, couldn't do that with one hand. So you put your key in here, you move it over, and then you can open up your full seat here, and then this is where you're going to be putting in and out your battery at. So you notice here, there's a little quick release, and then you got your massive beefy cable over here, and you're going to, this battery is not light. I want to probably say it's right about 50 pounds, but one of these days I'll weigh it. And I noticed pulling it in is easier than pulling it out. It's got some resistance in there. You feel the little rubber on each side grabbing it so it doesn't slide drop right in like you'd expect it to. Latch it down, push in your battery connector, and then, so here's where I went wrong yesterday and I couldn't figure out why race mode wasn't working. So down here, there's a power button, and you push the power button here and you'll see the bike will turn on without using NFC. So what Pat at Rev Rides definitely didn't tell me, I figured this all out myself, is that when you push that, this is a backup. So if you forget your NFC, you do have your key, you can open this up and you can turn on and off the bike using that switch. However, you will only be limited to eco, normal, and sport modes. Race mode is not available. So what you want to do is once you have it in here, leave that power switch turned off. From here, you have your two NFCs. There's a red and a black. Now you can actually program either one of these to be your race mode. In my case, I did race, red for race. So what you want to do here is you use your NFC, you click it on the side of your display, and that'll turn on your Altis. And once it's turned on here, you're going to hold the M button at the bottom. Pat said on his bike it's on the left. It was on the right on my bars. So hold down the M. That's going to get you into your settings on the computer. So you're going to press the plus or minus here to select through. And what you want to do is you go up to vehicle settings, tap the M, and that's going to get you into the vehicle settings. This gives you all your wheel size, gear ratio, throttle mode. And you're going to go all the way down, scroll down to the bottom, and it's going to say race enable. Now I've already done this on here, but I'll walk you through it. On race enable, by default, it's going to say off. Tap the M button, enter your password. Default password on here is 0000. And then you're going to enable your race mode. Select on, tap M again. It's going to give you this little liability waiver here. Now what I did the first time is I kept pushing the screen. We're so spoiled by touch screens. I was like, why isn't this working? But I forgot. It's not a touch screen. Tap M again to agree to this waiver that you totally read. And then race mode is now enabled. So what it is, whatever one of these key fobs you enable race mode on, from that point forward, race mode will no longer work on the other key fob, which is nice. So if you have like, this is your bike, you want to let someone else ride it, you can have your race mode key fob for yourself. And for other people, they can use your black NFC card for all the other modes. Now, I actually had a question asking if you could tune down the other modes so you can let someone ride it. And I do, looking through the computer here, I see there's a torque limit option here. You can turn down the torque. In throttle mode, you can adjust how aggressive your throttle is. Mine set to medium. I personally like the way medium felt. There's weak, medium, and strong. Personally, I liked medium, but say if you want to like set this to weak, let some weak person ride it, you know, have at it. But anyways, there you go. There's your basic settings in there. I haven't gone through all these yet because, you know, I just got the bike yesterday and I've just been having fun with it. But here, you get all sorts of options in here. Bluetooth, password, seat lock, NFC settings, language, display settings, all sorts of stuff here. But today, I just wanted to show you how to enable race mode. Okay, I'm going to just give you a brief overview of the controls on the bike as well. So obviously over here you have your gear selector, your headlight switch. There's 3 modes on the headlight, off, low, and high. You have your horn here. Reverse. So to use reverse, you hold the reverse button down and then use your throttle and rotate your tire backwards. Over here, this is your regen selector, so you can press up and down to select through your regen settings. And you have your park switch, so you push this to get in and out of park, or you can tap your brake handle as well, and your handy dandy throttle. I also wanted to address another comment. In my yesterday's video, I did tension the chain, and somebody wrote in the comment that you better make sure you tension your chain correctly for this bike by reading the manual. Now, I'm not going to go as far as reading the manual, but let me show you what's something different about electric bikes compared to regular dirt bikes is the chain here on this attaches right where the pivot point is. So no matter where the swing arm is at in its travel, the tension on the chain is the same. But on a traditional dirt bike, the pivot is offset from where it mounts to the frame. So if the tire's in the higher part of your compression, it's going to have more tension on the chain rather than when it's down. But on this bike, I tested it earlier, you sit on it, it goes up and down, and the chain tension remains the same. So feel free to read the manual, guys, but hey, that's not for me. I'm about that Sigma male lifestyle. I ain't reading shit. But yeah, so just check your chain when you get it and adjust as necessary. How does that sound? Okay guys, so here is why I changed the tires on these bikes. If I lived in a climate where it's more dirt outside and I didn't ride on asphalt that much, I would leave these tires on. But look how knobby they are, right? And get a look at them from the side profile here. You see they have a rounded profile to them, but there's big gaps in the tread. So that means when you're riding on asphalt and you lean the bike, there's sections here where it's going to transition from this knob to this knob. It's just not as smooth, and you're going to find that this tire is much more prone to skidding on asphalt than a street-oriented tread is. But like I said, if I lived in a dirt area, I would leave these tires on. They're fine. But for a bike that can do 75 miles an hour, I'm going to be riding, probably majority on asphalt, as I assume probably most of you guys will. These tires got to go ASAP. So you can see here with the tread pattern on the 241, when you're riding, you have more tread contact with the asphalt than you do with those knobbier tires. These are going to be more grippy on the street, and they're going to give you more braking power. Whereas the other CST tires that come on the bike like to skid really easy. Give you a look at the 244s. I think the 244s are a better street tire than the 241s, but I just like the way the 241s felt better, personally. But if you look here, these have a really rounded profile here. So if you lean it, you can just picture that this is going to be making a much more contact with the asphalt. This is a good, grippy street tire. It's a little harder compound than on the 241, but overall, I don't feel like you can go bad with either one of these. So that's why I change them. And then now, let's go ahead and change them. So to do this, I know most of you guys have probably changed tires before. There's one additional step on this bike, which is why I wanted to film this. It's going to make even an annoying job even that much more annoying, as these have rim lock tires. If you see here, there's a doodad on the inside of it that locks the tire to the wheel. So if you run at lower PSIs and you're riding off-road and in dirt, you're going to put a lot of traction onto these tires, and what it's going to want to do is twist on the wheel. So that wheel lock locks the tire to the wheel, ensuring that you're not going to get pinch flats on your tube or like tear the tube from the tire twisting. It also adds an extra layer of annoyance when changing these tires. All right guys, to do this job, you're going to use all your basic tools, wrenches and stuff to get the tires off. I don't really feel like I need to explain all that to you guys, but one additional tool you're going to need for this, and it's going to save you a lot of time and potentially even buy you another bike in the process, is you're going to use a swear jar. Guys, because you know what? You're going to end up swearing quite a bit while doing this. What we're going to do here, we have the wheel lock right here. And it's I think it's a 15 mil. Okay, take that off. Now we're going to just start working and pulling off this tire. Now if you've changed a tire before, this process is not any different. You just start prying it off and it sucks. Okay, we got the tire off. Compared 2.75 inch by 19, we're going to run the same size front and rear. Okay guys, now we're just going to do the reverse of what we just did. So what we do is we get this baby powder here and then just put it around the edge here. Just helps things move around. Talaria man's decided to take over. He got frustrated watching me fumble around with everything, and I'm completely okay with it, to be honest. So we're leaving the wheel lock in there. Put the wheel lock in before you put the tube. It's going to make the process go easier. Dogs decide to lay down directly underneath the rear axle of the bike. Now the worker is going to put in a couple PSI into the tube to make it easier to work with. So we're going to put the nut just on the very end of the wheel lock there so it doesn't come all the way out. But you can still push it in and out because you're going to have to push the tire into the bead underneath the wheel lock, which is part of the reason these wheel locks are a pain in the ass. Changing tires is not fun, fellas. If anyone tells you changing tires is fun, they're paid shill from big tire companies. This last little bit's where you think you're almost done, and it's like it gets exponentially harder because it's so tight right here to work this way around. Oh God. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have successfully put on the rear tire. That was not fun. So tightening the wheel lock on, we're going to put this back onto the bike the same way we took it off. And then we're going to repeat the process with the front wheel. Guys, I almost forgot to show you the most magical part of this whole install. So I put this flat out in every single bike I get. Guys, I review a lot of bikes. I've gotten a lot of flats out there. Fat tire e-bikes love to pick up debris from the road. And this flat out stuff works wonders here. So I put this in every single tire I get. I've got nails in my tire. You take the nail out and it's resealed. So guys, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting this flat out. So you just stick it over here. We have the Schrader valve taken out, and I'm going to pump. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to put in. I'm just going to do it till it feels right. That's about good right there. I'm going to replace our Schrader valve, the Schrader valve core rather. And the rear tire is done. I'll give you a look at these new tires and get a little view of the profile here from the side. And you can just imagine as you're riding, this has a much more rounded profile to it, and it's going to grab the asphalt much better. There's more coverage of rubber meeting the asphalt, not as knobby as these tires here. So these are much better for the street. And yeah, all around 241 is just a great tire. Okay, tires have been changed. Tubes are filled with flat out front and rear. I'm going to answer a couple more common questions I'm seeing here, such as how much does the bike weigh? Well, unfortunately, I should have thought of this before we put on the tires, but we're going to go ahead and weigh it here. What does the battery weigh? Battery weighs 48.4 pounds. He's 220.6, 374.2. Okay, guys, time to do a little bit of math here. 374.2 minus 220.6. Okay, bike by itself is showing 153.6, 48.6 plus 202.2 pounds. So I heard this bike weighs about 199 stock. I would guess that's about right because these tires are definitely heavier than the stock tires, and plus we put a little bit of flat out. All right, guys, there you have it. Day 2 of being a Sigma male. We changed out the tires, we put some flat out in here, we weighed the bike, answered some common questions, showed you guys how the NFC works on this. And yeah, if you guys have any more questions, put them in the comments. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And you know what? We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.